Right, let's start. But most of people have seen the chair. It's not about what college they went into, it's about their own initiative, their own drive, their own ambitions, their own curiosity. I can say from the era which I grew up, I don't think madrasa is going to say to me, okay, you can only be written if your back is bent. On my tombstone, I want the epitaph, be ashamed to die until you have scored some victory for your humanity. Many people look for meaning in life. So it's not being under the rock or behind the tree. What is this meaning? You have more power than that. You have the power to create meaning in your life rather than passively look for it. Meaning to me is, do you know more about work today than I did yesterday? And it has this meaning for me. If it accumulates and accrues daily in a month, you know, my more than you did, they just like the other. So they do continue to grow. And for the rest of me worsens, who do find meaning. This is how I could do great and it's early teens. You can line the same between people who can curse but do not hold power over you. This famous quote from Martin Luther King. You can only be right if your back is bent. When I grew up, it was very common to hear the phrase, sick and soul and break my bones. But what will not personally, I haven't heard it said in a long time. I haven't heard it cited. In the elementary school, what I think would happen over years is you came to learn on a civilization that words can be hurtful. There's an advance in mental health. What I see, the flip side of a coin, however, is the people are less able to deal with these same people who are around today, who were around back then, who are willing to call your names. I can say for Aaron, which I grew up, I don't get rise up when you say to me, unless you are between me and some girl, then I will navigate some way. If they're a racist person, or sexist person, or a person with some kind of cultural bias, but to know that actually I want to say everything you're going to say, then I'll say, okay, that's who you are, that's how you're thinking. So now what I need to do, because you're in my way, do I dig under you, go around you, live over you, or do go this way, and then come out to the other side? It's longer, it's more effort, it's more energy. But instead of it's sort of some shit different day. I can see you being aggressive, you being, that's not, you're not navigated. I think high school, that's where you learn about how to deal with difficult people. There are people who are nasty. You don't have to navigate them. There are people who you cannot interact with. For every reason or another, they could be next to you in your workplace. So I think we undervaluable the social startup parts that people are started into the high school experience. You're just saying, oh, good Lord, I have learned what have to deal with all people. Hey, how fluent with all people is now in your portfolio, very reference for the years, and you have to count they have some vision statements, they have the grit. Okay, they knocked down, they still back up, they try another way, they knock down again. They were successful either miserable well or influence just joy in the lives persons. For me, when I do for public, 80 plus percent of it is driven by duty, not by ambition. That's how I view it. It's a case that I ended up hosting Cosmo in 2014 and Dream, video of Carl Sagan, who is talented. He brought to me and said, "You could consider hosting Cosmos." I said, "I don't. There's a dozen people behind, a dozen artists will show me this opportunity. I don't need to open this. I really don't." Then I thought about it. I said, "When I met Carl Sagan when I was 17, I was trying to college in West Cornell, and I accepted to Cornell. I didn't know what college I went to go to. And they sent me some official their version totally in the comment there. They found me my application to him. First reaction, and he sent me a letter. Decades later, and open it, it says, understand what you like, there's some stuff I like. We want to come visit the campus, it had been designed if you want to Cornell. He met me as a student on a Saturday. He did something really cool. He reached back, grabbed a book I would say was on this book and signed it to me. Invitation, future Ajinamo, sending card. And in the day, I'm go back to New York because you know I did this often in December in Attica. And he says, here's my phone number. It's barking us through for the snow. Spend my night with my family and go back tomorrow. I'm thinking, who am I? Why? I'm nobody. But I'm somebody to him. And I said to myself, if I as favored as he is, I will treat students the way he has treated me. If we can form his memory into this dark cosmos, then we have a way to justify who I am at the next cohort because torch of the past. It was passed in 2014, it was passed in 1975. 2000 future astronomer. I still have the book. I wasn't an adult scientist, but a kid who never lost his curiosity. And most people who have sat in a chair, it's not about college they went into, it's about their own initiative, their own drive, their own ambitions, their own curiosity. That is not taught in school. Sadly, school view you as this empty vessel, the proof information in, and you test it over here, you get a high grade, you praised. Maybe even give a common speech to speech. They can become the shakers and movers of the world. I don't think so. When you come to start step on last step school, you're not singing the Alice Cooper song, "School's out forever." There'll be a sad song. We're singing, say, gee, I'm going through swimming without learning anything. You should be sad as school, that school's over, not happy. And so you leave school, instead you say, I know how to learn. I now have a curiosity of all things I have yet to be exposed to, and now I become a lifelong learner. I read things that take me to places where all my people think. What was it about your dad that impacted you so much? Is you still carry today? For me, Alice Burst was a of wisdom is gleaned in his life, and successfully communicate to me. It's a big example about just explicit statement. In high school, he was in gym class. He wasn't lining up. He was about to enter the next unit, and he was checking fuel. And the instructor pointed to my father on the line and said, "Pay attention." He will look at him. He doesn't have a body type that would excel in Jack. And he says, "What? No one is going to tell me what I can do in my life." They used that as a reason to start running. Within a few years of that, he became world class. In 1948, we built to us yesterday to come back to us because we're still ruling and rolling for the Second World War. Instead, it was still an Olympics. It was called the GI Olympic and anyone else in his stadium. So he competed in his stadium in the late 1940s. Because the reason why I'm saying that is there's a friend that's named Johnny Johnson who's competing in the New York Athletic Club. New York Athletic Club at the time. It's the only Protestants to another club, the Pioneer Club. So everybody who would accept the New York Athletic Club, we were basically blind Jews. And his best friend, Johnny Johnson, okay, was coming right back, stretch, maybe water time, maybe final stretch away. And the runner from New York Athletic was full pace behind him, and Johnny Johnson overhears that runner's coach say, "Catch that nigger." And he overhears this. So what did he say to himself? He said, "He's with one nigger I'm gonna catch." And that extended his lead to the finish line. And in the story, not with any bitter turn, which was his education to parlay what today may be called migration into a reason to excel even more than you expected of your own abilities and talents. My question, what's the impact you want to have in the world? My impact would be people learn from me in a way that they are empowered when I talk to them. So they will think, they no longer think of me. They think of their own ways of understanding of how this world works and become irrelevant. And because people say this true, because they said so, then they failed. That's not how you teach someone. That's teaching them authority. I don't know that. That's not. I want to teach you to learn how to think about the world. They say, I want to understand the world, and you just run off. You don't even look back because a new level of hunger had descended upon you, and the students to feed their hunger inaccessible to you. So the impact would be that author is impacted, and they don't even remember that have something to do with it. Okay, so then that is the end of my speaking today. And now I'm gonna just go to YouTube and pause the video and have to 10 more times to move to the next level to move to the next level because each video I'm gonna do it for 20 times, which means 20 days. Yeah, I really want to improve my skills, so I just go for it. That's the thing that I want to achieve, and that's the thing that I want to make it come true, to achieve my dream. So I have to do it. I have to try really hard in order to achieve the thing that I want. So okay, let's start it. Oh no. Let's say goodbye. That is it. That is the end of my video. That is the end of my video. Yeah, that's good. Okay, bye.